good. And speaking of the TV show, so over at the Nappy convention where we were selling the TV show, Bob Cook is a CBS executive, so I guess some guy was asking him a question about our show. At first,
what kind of executive is he?
I don't know. Isn't he the vice president or something?
Of iMark, I thought, which is the syndication arm.
No, I don't think so. I think he's like a vice president of CBS.
Really?
So he's way up there.
But then I was listening to his answer. I thought it was fairly reasonable while not glowing. And then at the end, it got really disgusting. And it's like, I think I'm pissed at this guy.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
I think also that...
This is the reporter.
Okay, so we'll hear the question.
Yeah.
No, Howard, it actually starts with this comment.
Oh, is that him talking? Okay.
I just pulled it ahead and started with him discussing your show.
Okay.
So what's the question?
I don't know, Baba Booey didn't put it on.
It's not really a question, it's just asking about the show in general.
But the question was kind of hostile. I wish you could hear it. But all right, never mind that. We're into this now. So, he's the executive vice president. No. Executive vice president. Like, why can't he just be the vice president? He's the executive vice president.
What's a vice president, and then what is an executive vice president?
You know why he can't just be vice president? Because there's about 50 billion vice presidents at CBS. All doing nothing.
You know, we serve a lot of masters and a lot of varied interests, and although I'm not defending the content of the show, it was a very successful radio program. So you take a gamble. You try to be sensitive to the needs of the public and to the broadcasting community. And again, the audience votes. And if the show is something that they find distasteful, that ballot will be cast, and the show will no longer exist. On the other hand, if they like it, it will continue to work.
See what a glowing... I'm down there trying to sell this show, and he's busy telling people. He's an executive with the company. And I wasn't even pissed at that statement so far. Because he says, well, I'm not defending the content.
Right. He's like, what is it what's up? The audience wants what the audience wants.
Right.
It's not up to me.
Yeah, I'm pushing, he's pulling. But, okay, so then he keeps going on.
We would agree that the vote can be decidedly smaller today than it could have been 20 years ago to carry. I mean, it takes a very small minority vote and late-night television to stay on the air.
Well, but it's still, the economics may not be there, and that will also cast the vote. Or if advertisers don't support the show, that will also be a deciding factor. So I think there's a number of issues that come into play. The show is not making a lot of money, and if it doesn't continue to grow in the ratings, it won't exist.
Okay, so here's the guy. I'm down there selling a show for CBS.
And he's telling everybody it's not really working.
A, he's telling everyone that the show is not making a lot of money, which is wrong. It is making money. And B, he's telling them that if it doesn't grow in the rating, you see, we're down there telling a whole different story.
Right.
We're down there fighting, telling people we're getting bad rap in the press. Look at our ratings. Our ratings are stellar. In every market we're in, we're up over 1,000% of what we had in the past, and we're beating Saturday Night Live in 18 to 34-year-olds. And this jackoff is down there telling everybody, well, if it doesn't grow in the ratings, it's going to be off, which I haven't been told that. And number two, it's not making any money. Jack off, executive vice president. And you know what executive in front of vice president means? It means you don't need them. It means nothing.
And number three, Howard, he's telling people he doesn't like the content.
Yeah. Well, okay, that I can live with. Well, believe it or not, that I can live with.
I know, but he's trying to sell a show.
Am I worked up over nothing here?
Oh, no.
No, okay. I'm serious.
Oh, no.
Baba Booey.
I'm sick of these guys. Hey, man, I'm out there trying to make money for your company, you jerk.
The other thing that really pisses me off about these guys, they can't entertain anybody.
No.
But they get to wear a suit
and
decide what goes on and what doesn't.
Yeah, and by the way, hey, Bob, if you're so scary smart, why don't you come up with a show that'll beat Saturday Night Live in 18 to 34-year-olds? I haven't seen you do it, you dick. Glad we're on the same team. Hopefully we can get you off the team. God, what a loose cannon that is. But you know what? He would never badmouth another CBS show except mine.
Not.
He would never say that. He wouldn't badmouth anything. These guys all feel free to badmouth me. I'm down there selling. I plan a whole goddamn trip down there. I'm down there making a keynote speech, something I hate to do. Making that speech is like putting nails under my feet. You might as well just put me up on the cross. I'd rather do that than make a speech to 4,000 people, let alone broadcasters who I can't stand.
Because broadcasters are like him.
Yeah.
Passing judgment. They can't do a damn thing.
Right.
But they can sit around passing judgment.
Bob Cook, my new friend. Whoever that. I've never even heard of Bob Cook.
But now he's in your life.
Yeah. Now he's part of my life. What do you got there? What is this?
If Bob Cook talking about Everybody Loves Raymond, like, why can't he talk about us?
Here's Bob Cook. We think Raymond is the kind of classic sitcom that has both family and adult appeal, said Bob Cook, executive VP of iMark. Oh, he's iMark. This is worse.
The company that's supposed to syndicate this.
This is worse. We haven't really seen this show ignite yet because people are still finding it, and some of the supporting cast members are just starting to hit.
Give me a break. How long has it been on TV?
What a dink. Bob Cook. So, Bob, so what are you saying? You're distancing yourself from me? You're the guy who signed me, theoretically.
You know what? This is typical vice president
crap.
Yeah. We don't want to take a risk because if something goes badly, we'll get fired.
What is it, Vinny?
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
Hey, listen.
Hey, Vinny, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I want to ask you. Bob Cook says that my show doesn't make money. Is that true?
It's not true, and he didn't say that whole.
Let me ask you another thing. Hold on. Let me ask you another thing.
Yeah.
Is my show beating Saturday Night Live in most markets, 18 to 34-year-olds?
Absolutely.
Right. Has my show increased the ratings in those markets, thousands of percentiles?
Uh-huh. Yep.
So why is Bob Cook, the vice president of iMark, who clearly is brain dead, sitting there in a conversation saying that my show isn't making money and that it isn't getting, if the ratings don't go up, I'm not going to have a show?
I'm telling you, that whole conversation was hypothetical.
No, it wasn't. I heard the whole conversation.
Yeah, I heard it too.
I don't hear that about Everybody Loves Raymond.
No, it was all hypothetical. Bob is one of the biggest supporters of the show, Howard. He's the guy.
It doesn't sound like it.
Doesn't sound like it. Sounds publicly he's embarrassed by it.
No, you know what? That whole thing was hypothetical. It was
hypothetical. What is hypothetical about?
Hypothetical is if a show that pushes the envelope like our show does, you know, it's totally dependent on the audience. And if the ratings aren't
Why can't a guy like Bob Cook, who I assume must have gotten to his position being a salesman,
he's going to sell that show.
Why wouldn't he sell it? Why wouldn't he say the following? The show is terrific. It's cutting edge. People have been clamoring for something they can put on against Saturday Night Live.
It's building an audience.
And I have no problem with the content.
These people start off apologizing.
Yeah. Come on, you're going to tell me that's a positive spin?
Yeah, how about with product?
It wasn't the
I hear what he says about Everybody Loves Raymond. It's certainly not hypothetical.
It wasn't the most positive spin.
What is this? Is he a white guy?
What's that?
Is he a white guy?
Is he a white guy?
Yeah. I want to know. Is he a white guy?
He's an executive vice president. What do you
Of course he's a white guy. Let me ask you something. Is he retarded?
What?
Is he retarded?
Of course. But listen, Howard, Bob is the guy that spent all the money on the tapes that we did to go down there. Bob's a big supporter of the show.
But why would he get in front of people?
Hold him down?
Yeah, I mean, why would he then, when he's finally got a chance to sell the show, and he's asked about it, how about a little cheerleading?
That's not the place to sell the show. That was a seminar at like 7 in the morning.
Sure it is, because that guy's from the press who's asking these questions. And what do you think? These tapes go out to people.
All I have to say is Bob...
You know what? Why don't you sit down with Bob today and explain...
You're the world's greatest apologist.
Yeah. Well, because Vinny's an executive. He wants to go places.
Is he an executive vice president?
No, Bob's... Look, I'm so far from that.
Please.
Not after last week. Listen, look, I know Bob. Bob's a good guy, and he would never badmouth the show.
He just did.
No, he didn't.
Want me to play it for you again? You'll explain to me how he did?
You need the question. You really need to get the question.
I heard the question. I'll play it. Gary, bring in the cassette, and we'll play the question.
And Bob will call you.
What was Bob's last job, by the way, before he went to iMark?
He's been at iMark for a while. I'm not sure. But Bob's the guy who launched our show. He's the guy who...
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Mel Karmazin launched my show. Remember that. That's my only friend here at CBS is Mel Karmazin. If I didn't have him, I'd be dead. Dead in the water. They would have fired me already.
Bob's the guy who went out to sell it.
Mel is my friend. Mel is my god. Wait till Mel hears this tape. That's what I can't wait for. There's going to be a big attitude adjustment going on.
I tell you, the tape is misleading.
The tape is misleading.
It is.
Oh, you know it's so funny, Vinny.
You sound like Bill Clinton.
If you don't hear the word if, it changes the whole...
Let's listen to the whole... Gary, bring in the cassette, will you? We're going to play it again. You're queuing it up? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
If you don't hear the word if.
This is key. If a show like this...
Listen, I'm not saying my show has become the #1 show like Seinfeld or something. But all I'm saying is, hey, we're doing pretty good. And even if we're doing bad, why announce it?
We're not doing bad.
I say, I know we're not, but we're getting a rap like we are.
But when your own guy is telling people it's not doing well.
Hey, Howard, did you know that Nappy bleeped the Phil Hartman thing, but they didn't bleep when you said the F word?
I know, that was weird. I went on the Nappy website. Oh, what'd you do? What was that?
A panel just fell out of the wall.
What fell out of the wall?
A panel.
Let me see. Oh, my God.
Pay the rent.
This studio is so unsafe. You have no idea. We got to move studios.
I didn't even touch that, Howard.
Yeah.
No, you walked by it.
I know.
I have to make a bus in 20 minutes.
Cares. All right, you want me to play this again? I'll play it with the question.
Because, you know, it's funny, Howard, I started even back farther, and you'll see that when he gets the question, well, you'll see.
All right.
You'll hear.
You'll hear.
All right, you ready? What is it on? Cassette?
Cassette.
Okay, hold on. Ready? Here we go. You ready?
Now, this actually is related to that question, though it may not sound that way to the audience at first. But so then tell me, what's a nice, respectable guy like you doing with the Howard Stern show?
Can I have a different question?
Can I have a different question?
Already he's running out of the room.
Yeah.
That's a hard question to answer.
What? How about, hey, we love the Howard Stern show.
The Howard Stern show.
It's fun.
I should be a part of that.
What's wrong with saying it? What was it? Can I have a different question? So that's like, wink, wink, I'm being forced into the Howard Stern situation. Come on, Vinny. I'm not an imbecile.
He pleads the fifth.
He's reaching for the fifth.
Yeah, Howard Stern's a big embarrassment.
He's reaching for the fifth. There's an endorsement.
Right. Yeah, he's got to take a drink before he answers a question about me.
No. You mean the Fifth Amendment.
Oh, I thought he was reaching for the fifth.
I took it that way, too. He's reaching for the fifth.
Yeah.
Did you say
guys are reading too much into this.
Oh, please, Vinny. I'll tell you what. Next time you're up for review, I'll play a tape of the executives talking about you like this.
They probably did.
Yeah.
We aren't allowed to talk about that.
Let me lead the witness just a little bit. As a cynical journalist, maybe a skeptical journalist, I always tried to guard against being a cynic, but I'm at least a skeptic. I would argue and submit that if it weren't for your parent company's involvement with Mr. Stern elsewhere in its holdings on the radio side, that Howard Stern would not be syndicated on the TV side, the American television audience, regardless of whether or not he's good entertainment or not, but that's just a fact of life. If that particular show would not have, as they say, legs, if it weren't for those other connections with your parent company.
Did you ever hear of something so stupid?
Wow.
Well, basically what he's saying, if Mel Karmazin didn't come to CBS, you wouldn't be on CBS.
Right.
And this guy sort of agreed.
Right, watch.
I think that's partially true.
I think that's partially true.
Partially.
All right, let's continue.
We're the same company.
I think also that, we serve a lot of masters and a lot of varied interests, and although I'm not defending the content of the show.
Now he's not defending the content of the show, so he has a problem with the content on the show.
Well, come on, Howard, you push the envelope every
So what? When Saturday Night Live...
If you don't believe in a show, you shouldn't have it on, because you have to sell it.
He should resign.
He does a good job selling it.
He should have said, hey, I think the show's wonderful. What are you talking about? We wanted the show. We went out and got it.
Yeah, it's been forced down my throat.
Mr. Stern's a wonderful radio performer, and we think we saw the success of his television show on E, and we wanted to duplicate that success.
Yeah, you're either on board or you're not.
Right.
You should be.
This guy's definitely not.
He's on board.
He's on board.
Somebody told him to get on board.
He's on board a spaceship. He should not be allowed to talk to the press about me. I want him to shut his friggin' mouth, Vinny. You hear it?
Okay, but he wasn't talking to the press. That was at the seminar.
I don't want Bob Cook to ever mention my name. From now on, he is going to make a statement that says, I am not allowed to talk about Howard Stern because I'm too much of an imbecile to actually comment on him because I don't know how to. I get thrown by the simplest of questions. I need a fifth.
No, he was pleading.
I take the fifth.
And Vinny, in all fairness,
yes.
Even though he's not, Vinny's saying he wasn't talking to the press, to me it's sort of worse. He's talking to fellow broadcasters.
Of course. When did this guy get into my life, Bob Cook? I don't even know this guy. I don't want him around me.
Now, the thing is here, wait a minute, that he's at a seminar because he's supposed to know something about broadcasting.
You know what he knows? Now he knows to keep his mouth shut because he's too dopey to even handle this. Good Lord, what a salesman.
Howard.
I'm out there selling my guts out, meeting with various people who carry our show, telling them what we're up to, And
that's what Bob does every day.
He's my friend.
How could he?
Oh, come on. Bob doesn't do anything.
Look, I can't say much about the content because I really don't care for it.
Yeah.
But
Why would a guy sell my show if he doesn't like the content? If he can't defend the content? Right.
I really don't want to answer that question. I don't know how I could be in a business with him.
Listen more.
Very successful radio program. So you take a gamble. You try to be sensitive to the needs of the public and to the broadcasting community. And again, the audience votes. And if the show is something that they find distasteful, that ballot will be cast and the show will no longer exist. On the other hand, if they like it, we'll continue to work.
But we would agree that the vote should be decided
Wait, be quiet. I want to hear this.
Today than it could have been 20 years ago to carry. I mean, it takes a very small minority vote in late-night television to stay on the air.
Well, but it's still, the economics may not be there, and that will also cast the vote. Or if advertisers don't support the show, that will also be a deciding factor. So I think there's a number of issues that come into play. The show is not making a lot of money, and if it doesn't continue to grow in the ratings, it won't exist.
Now, did you hear that? There was no if in front of it's not making a lot of money.
That first if, that was all hypothetical.
Oh, you're so full of it.
Oh, come on. Vinny, what's with you, man?
Howard, it's Bob's job.
Vinny, what do you think? We're stupid?
You're not stupid.
What do you think, we're Bob?
You know, I'll tell you another factor. If the executives who have to sell it aren't behind it, it won't go either.
That's right.
Hey, Bob's done a good job so far selling it.
What is it, Phil? You're on with Vinny and us.
Hey, Howard, I was at that session, too, and they spent half of that whole session talking about, what a disgrace you were. There was another woman on that panel who they kept saying, I wouldn't put them on my channels, I wouldn't put them on my station.
No, you ought to listen to the rest of that tape, Gary.
She's on direct satellite. She wishes she had anything to put on.
Right. She's on direct. You heard this?
Yeah, no, I know who the people on the panel are. She's from direct TV.
Yeah, direct TV. You know what they put on TV?
She wouldn't put them on. They have those lawnmower commercials.
Right. Yeah. I like how all these people have never done anything are telling how they wouldn't put me on. You know, what about what people want to say? I tell you, I ought to be done with these guys.
These people, too, Howard, when I would go, they'd have sessions with us, these little separate sessions. I was part of this program there. And every one of them all of a sudden would change the tune, and they'd say, well, you know, it's a business, whenever they would get criticized for putting real crap on the air.
Yeah.
But when they're up on stage...
And I must be nuts. I don't think my show is crap. I happen to think it's funny, and I happen to think it's like, I think it's different, and I think it's just something cool to look at.
Look, you know what? When this show becomes a huge success, they'll all be behind it.
Right.
But these are the kind of guys, you know, just like at NBC, nobody wants to do anything to rattle,
rock the boat. Yeah. All right, Vinny.
Okay.
You can't defend that.
Typical middle management mentality.
Is that me?
Well, we put on a good show this Saturday night.
Great show.
You're damn right. Thank you.
We did a good number.
We did?
Yep.
How come you didn't memo me?
Super Bowl.
Oh, what do you mean?
I don't know. I got distracted.
Oh, really?
No. You know what? I got the numbers real late.
Oh, you did? Okay, because I was bumming out. I said, oh, man, we put on a really good show, and nobody watched it.
Don't matter. It was a real good number.
Okay, good. Thank you. Bye.